Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rambling Gamer podcast. This podcast, we discuss the latest news that has been happening over the last week, which means the week that the week we discuss is from last Wednesday until this Wednesday. Why this way? Well, because this is in collaboration with Trophies on PSN and they have another podcast called The Pod Station. Be sure to check them out because, they do the more serious stuff and more the industry kind of topics instead of what we do right here with my little friend that is called Dante Zero. Introduce yourself.
Hello. For those that don't know me already, I am Dante Zero. I'm the community manager and news team leader at Trophies on PSN. I'm going to be joining GTA Man with this show in collaboration as we cover all the latest stories in the news. And it's going to be, as GTA Man said before, it's going to be something completely different from what we normally do with the Pod Station podcast that we currently put out. So, yeah. Good times, exciting times, fun times.
Fun times, very fun. Bye, bye, bye. But Dante is really like the big guy over there. Apart from, you've got the Kryptonite Dragon, who's the big guy. Like, look at me, I got all the money. Well, he doesn't. But you know, the podcast will go up on two channels. On my channel, which is the Liberty Lunatic. Subscribe, everybody, subscribe. And on the Trophies on PSN YouTube channel, which will be in the link below if you're watching this on my channel. Then also on iTunes, so that means that we cannot use any curse words, which is kind of hard for me since I like to do that a lot.
Gonna have to rein you in a bit.
Yeah, the thing is, like, this podcast is not about being all serious, which is like the pod station. If you want a totally serious podcast or pod station, however you want to call it, head on over to the Sunday part of Trophies on PSN because I like to have some fun and, Mr. Dante Zero likes to have some fun as well. And if you do too and enjoy some general gaming news, of course, I am a GTA fanboy. I have an obsession with GTA, so we will cover GTA 5 news if there is any. Do not worry. As of right now, we're recording this. That is a 4:30 p.m. GMT +1. That is just my time. We're still waiting on, the GTA Online time of the reveal. So when that comes through, of course, we will report on that. It will go, mostly the podcast will go live at around the evening time of Wednesday. That is for those British people time and not, the USA guys, because that's probably in the afternoon. So that is basically the very lengthy introduction of the Rambling Gamer podcast. I hope you are enjoying this. Let's just start right away with the latest story that has been happening over the last week. First of all, of course, Black Ops 2 has announced their last DLC, which is the Apocalypse DLC. It will come out on the Xbox 360 first, of course, because Microsoft with their beep little deal with Activision. The multiplayer maps will be called Pot, Frost, and Takeoff and Dig, and then the Zombies map will be Origins. Pot is like this 70s map with, the big, but like it said Pot because, rock, Rockstar, not Rockstar. Call of Duty is always so original with their names for their maps. I mean, it's just if there was ever a 12-year-old that came up with a name for a map, they're like, "Yo, come over here, dog. I heard you got a cool name." I mean, you remember Dente? You remember the Liberation map in Modern Warfare 3?
Yeah.
They wanted to call that Park.
What?
But then everyone started complaining, what the is this?
Yeah.
But then there's also the Frost map is actually in a well-known city called Amsterdam, which is actually pretty cool.
I was gonna say at home for you then.
Home for me. Of course it has pretty less fun weather. as in snow, but we're used to that, so it's pretty typical. I wonder if there are any coffee shops there too, and
Yeah,
the
you can.
red light district
I was
to
gonna
keep
say,
to
stop at
keep
a
us
coffee
warm
shop there.
during battle, and maybe we can even beat up some hookers with a baseball bat once we're there, since we're in the red light district. And yes, I went there. But the origin map looks like a big cluster, and with a big ass drone and whatever. I think it's going to be way too big and a lot of you know it's like all the other maps where you just have way too much stuff and it just gets way too overcomplicated, like you had in the buried map with the annoying ghosts and the big dude. Okay, the big dude was pretty handy at times, but when you had booze or candy, the damn thing was just like, I want the booze or candy, give it to me, and then I mean, we were doing I was doing the buried Easter egg, and one guy had given him candy so he would, keep the crawler alive when we're doing the last part. Oh man, that thing was just always in the way, and it just cost
Yeah.
so much time. Those Easter eggs, I mean, they're always so ridiculous, man. It's because I get the maps, let's say for the discount because I kind of have good money, but it's just so annoying that you always have to do so much stuff that you just like it doesn't make any sense.
But then, having said that, I mean, looking at the sort of descriptions of the maps coming out, I think Call of Duty fans would be fairly happy overall.
Well,
I
yeah,
know,
but
I know you don't. I know you're sort of a fan, but not. But for the ones that play it non-stop, 24/7, there's plenty in there for them. What kind of annoys me a little bit with some of the news that came out about these maps was really that essentially you're getting three maps in a zombie mode, and it's like looking at some of the descriptions, here for example, one of the maps included called Dig is just a rehash of a Call of Duty World at War map.
yeah, but then
You know,
Takeoff is also a rehash of this. Takeoff is a DLC map remake of a DLC map in Black Ops 1. I mean, does it get more ridiculous?
I know, and
Basically, you
you,
only have two new maps and a zombie map. I mean, the last the last three map packs has been three new maps who have been pretty meh, and the remake was okay because it was a good map and a fan favorite map. I mean, Rush was a good map in Vengeance, but the other two was just like no, because if what was the map called again? The one with the bridge.
oh God, now you're asking.
I think it was Cove.
Yeah,
I'm probably saying it wrong because I have barely played the maps because they were so shit. On exploding cars everywhere.
yeah.
Who? I mean, it's annoying. It's really annoying. There is so much stuff they put in those maps. There are just annoying head glitch spots. Everything. I
But
mean,
see,
Call of Duty
here's
is
where I'm
always
at
such a
with
game that it's just something that there's always something that just makes it annoying.
here's where I'm at with Call of Duty DLC is like I don't mind them going back and doing like HD remakes of old maps or bringing the current console maps up to scratch, but I'd rather them just put that in its own pack on its own. So
Yeah, like they did with Resurrection.
you buy the rehashed maps in its own DLC pack, and then the other DLC packs are actually brand new, completely original maps. Because I just find myself sort of looking at these DLCs and thinking they're just purely squeezing money out of people that they know are going to constantly buy the DLC, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah,
And I think that's a shame because it's restricting the quality of the experience you get. And when you're paying £12 for it, or however it's about €14 or whatever, it's ridiculous to think of it like that. In terms of you're paying quite a bit of money for it, but you're losing quality. Um, in the product you get, because there's no originality in there. I have to say though, I am sort of looking at the zombie thing, and I do think the concept, and certainly from the trailer video that I saw, the zombie thing does look pretty good. But am I going to pay £12 for that? Absolutely not a chance.
Yeah, but if you look at the people that bought the season pass, right? I'd feel screwed. Really, I would feel that I've been betrayed because I'm paying basically for like two new maps in this latest DLC, which is, of course, it's a good thing that they finally have like the original characters back because a lot of people have been asking for that because the new characters they're okay, but nothing beats like Nikolai with vodka for everybody. I mean, it's great, but I mean something else with the DLC, with the season pass. I mean, people have with the season pass have to pay separate and full price for the customization packs for a color on their gun, which is
Yeah.
something that shouldn't be too much of an effort to make because they're probably already made in the first place.
Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of, microtransactions within Call of Duty. I quite happily support microtransactions when there's legitimate business model there, but a lot of the stuff that I've seen go up for microtransactions, personally, I feel should have gone into the season pass to add more value
Yeah.
to the product, because we're talking about the season pass here for Call of Duty Black Ops 2 as well, and I don't think they ever actually did sort the pricing issue out in Europe for that, because when the game launched, the season pass was being offered by retailers for an extra £40 with your game purchase, but the season pass was listed on the store at like £48 or something like that. And it was like, well, I've paid £40 for the season pass when I bought the game, and now I have to pay, top up my PSN account and buy a bit more credit to then do it. So I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I liked Black Ops 2 as a game, but so many problems with the game itself.
Yeah.
Um, you know, all the con aspects of it in terms of the DLC pricing, the 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 delay in releasing them as well.
It's ridiculous,
I'm not
man. I
talking
don't see
about
the
the
point
platform
at all.
things. It's the way they're spacing the packs out. Just seems so long, and then when you see the packs come, you can't get excited about it. So,
No, I
I
don't think it's actually worth the money. I mean, if you look what you're getting for me, then it's 15 euros. I mean, I don't find it worth the money at all. Because basically what you're gonna end up doing if you're a person like me, who basically despise the multiplayer because of the lag compensation, they should really get rid of the lag compensation because it's ridiculous how much lag there is in the damn game. I
yeah,
mean,
no, I couldn't agree
there are
more.
so much problems with. I mean, in Modern Warfare 3, that is the point where I really got to like experience lag compensation because when I went from an 8 download to a 38 download, you know, the lag compensation literally just betrayed me to say that, just to say it nicely, because I had so much more lag and everything. It's so unfortunate because the gameplay of Black Ops 2 it's alright. I mean, the single player is but the multiplayer can be fun. But there are so much stuff that they put in the multiplayer, like a lag compensation, and the gun balance isn't there. I mean, a target finder LMG is just and the snipers and some shotguns. The list goes on, and it's a shame because the game should be so well supported because Activation is making billions with this franchise.
Do you think that the yearly releases actually does damage to the things like gun
Yes.
balancing? Because they essentially all they're doing is redesigning, with each version, redesigning the guns to
Well,
put in
basically,
the core codes there. So, well,
we're basically beta testing the game for them after the release. And
you
then
know.
towards like July, August, it's finally a bit playable.
I still don't get why they don't run open beta tests for server aspects of
Because then they
it.
can see how messed up the game actually is. And then a lot of pre-orders will be cancelled because the little kids think that a beta is a demo. Look at
Yeah.
Battlefield 3.
I dread the day when, Call of Duty becomes an online MMO first-person shooter. I really do, because based on the something like that could be fantastic for Activision. Certainly with Blizzard's skill in MMOs, but when you look at the effort put in by Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and the other studios that run the Call of Duty franchises for Activision, you you see so many technical flaws with it. Um, and it's like we'll paper over the cracks with big explosions and stuff, and in the single player, and that'll make it all better. And it really doesn't. They need to sort their crap out, basically. I'll use the polite word of putting it, but they need. I don't know if it's going to require them to take a year out from the franchise or whatever, but they do really need to sort it out. Um, because I get this funny feeling that they're not tempted to sort it out because there's 16 million people buying it every year, and there will come that time when 16 million people will just drop down to 2 million, and then only then will they sort it out. And I think that's the wrong attitude to take.
Well, the sales are already dropping because Black Ops 2 sold less than Modern Warfare 3, and the pre-orders for Ghosts are also down.
Yeah, but
But
it's hard to gauge the pre-orders for Ghost though, because obviously
yeah,
Ghost is launching on Xbox One and PS4, and so obviously pre-order sales on Xbox and PS3 are going to be hit because people are going to be looking to the next gen. So it's always hard to tell with that.
yeah. But okay, I mean, speaking of Call of Duty, I think that's the last thing we'll touch
Mm.
on it. That tonight for us then, and you're probably watching this after you've seen the Ghost reveal. What do you expect from it?
More of the same, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
I
probably
don't
like
expect it
we
to
got
be.
fish swimming away when you come close to them. Yeah, sure, we had that in 1997 with Mario Bros. Or Super Mario 64, if I'm
Yeah, yeah.
saying that correctly. You can lean around walls now. We had that in Fear in 2007. I mean, nothing is revolutionary in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Call of Duty 4 was a revolutionary game, and actually everyone started copying, and now Call of Duty is copying
Yeah,
everyone.
but
I mean,
well, that's what I was going to say. Here's the thing with it: Call of Duty 4 was pretty revolutionary, and it just seems that Activision and the Call of Duty studios are content to copy the same template that Call of Duty 4 set out, um, and then copy everybody else as well. What's the in-game mechanic? What's the most popular game mechanic we can throw in there for this year's edition? So I've got to be brutally honest. I don't expect great things from the Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer reveal. I think it'll look great graphically, but
on the
I
next gen
can't.
console, it will
I
finally look like a PS3 game.
but I can't. I don't expect it to set the world on fire. If I was gonna sort of try and give myself some expectation, I think it would be cool if we saw some unique things like underwater gameplay for multiplayer. When's that ever been done where you can have a death match underwater? That would be pretty cool, but I can't see them doing it. So I don't have very high hopes for it, to be honest.
Well, above ground they got a lot of legs, so imagine underwater.
Yeah, all those fish
But
they need to render.
yeah, but will you watch the reveal, or you just like I'm too busy, I'll just watch it later, or just watch it not at all?
Well, to be honest, you know me, I'm a busy man at the moment. So no, I'd probably check it out. Obviously, for more of a professional courtesy than an actual genuine interest in it. But I just don't have any high expectations for it at all.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm just gonna watch it, 'cause then I can, rant on Twitter and
And we can
about the
talk about it
stuff that
next
I
week
don't.
as well.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I'm just interested to see what they're gonna mess up this year, and well, not mess up, just interested. I'm just gonna watch it, but
Mhm.
hopefully it's interesting. But probably not gonna buy the game because of the next topic, which of course is GTA 5. Yes,
You
there
knew
has
it was
been.
coming.
Well, let's just get the big stories out of the way, so
Yeah.
then people, there will be some other stuff coming up which is a bit smaller. Don't worry. that there's been a good amount of new details that has been served via a Brazilian magazine, and yesterday the official GTA 5 website has been launched, and within 2 seconds the website was down, which is no surprise, of course. Uh, there has been a lot of information, new screens, new videos, which are of course typical GTA and really funny. I will not quote anything from that because then we will be banned from iTunes. Um, I'll, go to rockstargames.com/v, yes, and then just check out the website. Hopefully it won't be down for you at this moment because it is still pretty laggy as a lot of traffic is still heading towards it.
Can I just ask you a question? These details
Yes.
that leaked out from this Brazilian magazine, was it the same one that broke the original story about the revamped Max Payne? If you remember a few years ago when Max Payne 3 was sort of still in the works, there was a magazine over in South America that broke out that it was going to be set in Rio and all that sort of stuff. I'm just wondering if that's come from the same source because it seems a bit strange that certainly for big Rockstar leaks that they come from South America as opposed to you
There
know
are a lot of fans in Brazil, man. There are really a lot of fans in South America. If you pay attention to the Newswire comments, there are a lot of people asking when the special editions are available in Brazil.
hmm.
So, I mean, the hype over there is really big as well. And, the South America is really like really a hard rock metal kind of culture, and also gaming is a big deal there. So, I think, I mean, I don't know if you ever seen, and not want to drift too much off the topic, but have you ever seen like an AC/DC concert live at River Plate? It's in Argentina, if I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah.
And my God, man, that the crowd over there when they start playing, it's just a sea of people, literally. You should, if you're an AC/DC fan or just want to see what I'm talking about, just look it up, man. It's crazy. No, I think there's 40,000 people all jumping at the same time. It's like a sea of people. It's so awesome to see. But
I
anyway,
was
let's
going to say,
just.
no wonder the football stadium looks rubbish when people play in it then, because of all the concerts you see. The only thing I tend to follow the South American content is like football
Yeah,
every now and again, and I know the club that you're talking about, River Plate, there is huge club in Argentina, so that might explain FIFA's sales numbers in the US as well.
yeah, because they're probably
Yeah,
yeah, it's a big thing. I don't know, FIFA don't doesn't sell too much in the US, I think, but
yeah, did
there are a few.
5 million last year, I think, or
Really?
thereabouts. Yeah,
Wow. Oh,
huge.
well, I'm not too big on FIFA because I'm really bad at it, but
You
that's me.
suck.
Well, I do. I mean, I'm honest about it. I mean, and if I'm writing something about FIFA on my website, like, yeah, I think it's a cool game, and I'm just really bad at it.
Well, that should never stop you, mate. Even if you get beaten 10-0, just persevere. But we're not talking
Well,
about football.
what I used to do, this is the last thing I'll talk about it, was when I was losing with 10-0, I just started to get like red cards and stuff, so the guy would only win with 3-0.
Yeah, get the game abandoned. Yeah.
That's me. But I've covered these details in a video of mine already, but just really the big highlights, so we don't ramble on too much about it because people will be like, "Oh my God, he does a podcast and the only thing he talks about is Call of Duty and GTA. This is unreal, man. Come on, don't."
Well, we've got to ramble a bit. The show is called The Rambling Gamers, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you see, it's a perfect title for a podcast with me. It's about random stuff, and of course GTA and bashing Call of Duty. I mean, it's what I do. But you know, let's just get to, because there are quite a lot of details.
Yeah, and I haven't
That
heard any of these yet, so I'm a bit
so
slow with
yeah,
it.
you can read them later. They're on my website or they're in my video. Trevor consists with drug dealers and bikers. No, this is kind of, Trevor is a drug dealer and he's a drug addict and he's sick in the head. This is a really big one. Michael does not start the game living in a mansion, but a hotel. The hotel from Krestenberg, because he is in an FIB protection program. Which, it could be because he's in the FIB protection program, or because his wife Amanda is just a total. But then Franklin's missions contain of gang wars and racing. GTA typical is the again. Franklin is the typical GTA character. He starts his criminal career and now he's trying to get ahead in life. Michael's mission contain of high-risk heists and for a lot of big shots in Los Santos. Then there will be DLC to buy, but Rockstar doesn't say when. For the first time in the series, there will be bus routes, so Dante can grab a bag of popcorn, get in a bus tour, and just lay back and enjoy the scenery. Because the guy is getting kind of old. He might retire soon.
Thanks for telling the listening public that I'm an old man.
Hey man, if I don't tell him, someone else will.
True.
People think I'm a grumpy old man, so you're good. Then, okay, I cannot say that, but Trevor has two tattoo patterns cut here in his neck, and um, yeah, you're not so nice. You probably know what I mean on his fingers.
Hmm.
Typical Trevor. I mean, I wonder how bad you can go with the tattooing of
I was
Trevor.
gonna say, is that fully customizable?
Yes,
That's pretty
yes.
cool then.
Because the customization is crazy, which we'll touch about later. I think GTA 5 will be more focused on fun instead of seriousness, like in GTA 4. There are plenty of motocross tracks in the mountains. People, you can change the hairstyle of your character, which gonna be interesting because I don't see Trevor wearing a Michael haircut, but not too many details about that. Then another really big one. Franklin has no family or money. Lamar is his colleague and a member of Grove Street. So that basically means that Grove Street is confirmed. And the last few screenshots that has been released yesterday are rumored to show a picture with Grove Street. It really looked a lot like it, but it really been changed. But then again, it's been what is it? Like 17 years or something like that since GTA San Andreas in GTA timeline, that is.
Yeah.
But how do you think Grove Street will return in
Do
GTA
you think we'll
5?
see any of the characters from Grove Street in it?
Well, I mean, of course there are gang members and stuff, but I think there might be a story about how CJ took over Los Santos or whatever, because the Ballers are back really strong now and they're basically taking over again. So it's kind of like in San Andreas. But Franklin is retired from the gang life, but Lamar, his friend, is still in it. But you probably have some gang-related missions with Lamar
I,
because
I,
it's kind of
I was just
stupid.
going to say, when you're saying about the focus on fun with the customization side of it, and that Rockstar really are focusing on fun, do you think that's because it's in part of the popular rise of Saints Row? Because Saints Row
Well,
itself
no,
doesn't take itself seriously. It really is a case of have fun, here's some stupid things to have fun with. And do you think Rockstar have kind of identified it that, Saints Row, let's be realistic, Saints Row really isn't going to knock GTA off its
no,
spot
because
anytime soon, but Rockstar
pre-orders
can,
figures don't lie, man.
yeah,
Saints
but
Row 4 is at 30,000 pre-orders for PS3 now, and on PS3 for GTA 5 it's like 450,000 at the
yeah,
moment or
but
something.
I guess what I'm saying is that when you look at the lifetime sales of each game, Rockstar obviously seem to have identified that, that brand of gameplay in an open world is becoming more and more popular. Don't worry about the pre-orders, but it's obviously becoming more popular, giving people the ability to do the most stupid, fun things. And I wonder if that's why Rockstar are sort of reiterating the fact that the focus is going to be back on the fun side of things. You know.
Well, I
and
don't
dossing
think so
about it.
because GTA 4 was for a lot of people way too serious. There was not a lot to do. And in the Battle of Gate Tony, I mean, if you would look at this, a lot of people saying if they want to play online, they play the Battle of Gate Tony because the parachutes and all that. People have just been asking about it, but in GTA there's a good balance between serious action and then the fun stuff to do because you can go bike riding and tennis and all that other mini games. Because then Hauser said it's better to do 5 mini games that are really well done instead of like 20 mini games like in Saints Row, and most of them are not fun
Hmm.
or just get really boring after a while. That's my take on it.
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about GTA 4 anyway. I think
Yeah.
I personally still stand by that. I think out of all the GTA games, it's probably the weakest in the entire series. Um, but it still doesn't change the fact that it is a good game. I personally don't feel it's a great game,
Well, I mean, the thing
but
is, for a lot of people, GTA 4 was a disappointment
yeah, and
after
well,
like the previous games because they thought is a really good looking game, and but the driving mechanics and all that, a lot of things were done right. For
hmm,
example, the shooting. I love the shooting in
yeah.
GTA 4 because well, they're so much more precise than in the GTA 3 area.
Yeah. I just hope that with GTA 5 it's not going to be the case of, it's going to be close to greatness, but it's not going to be great as it should be, and I don't want GTA 5 to fall in the same trap as GTA 4 where, it requires a DLC pack to kind of inject that fun back in it like the
No.
Ballad of Gay Tony did with GTA 4.
No, because in the main game you get sports. You can play sports, yoga, triathlon, tennis, golf, and so on. There's so much more to do. But as in DLC, as far as we know, the DLC right now they're just like a few cars or a few customization things and the blimp. So
I hope there's no exclusivity on that as well. That annoyed the crap
no.
out of me. Oh yeah, we're gonna make DLC for the fans, but we're gonna make it for the fans on Xbox 360.
Yeah, what would you
What was that
do
all
if you were offered
about?
250 million?
They weren't offered 250 million.
Uh,
It's a nice try though. It was a round number of about 50 million quid, I think.
yeah,
And
okay.
even Rockstar said themselves that they would have done better if they hadn't done it. They would have
Mhm.
sold a hell of a lot more because it's still not. Believe it or not, there's the sales on the DLC packs on PS3 aren't very good. It's because people
No, because
moved on
everyone.
and they
Yeah.
forgot about it. So, um, any other
Oh
GTA
well.
5 details that are really important? Obviously, we know the multiplayer reveals up and coming. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But
Yeah. Well, now we're touching on some customization. The weapon customization is fast, with many ways to customize, putting silencer, several targeting scopes such as holographics, extended mags, and more. The sights are in practice very similar to Max Payne 3, with a red reticle, and when targeted the enemy it turns red. When you shoot an enemy and you kill him, you get the X mark. If you remember that from Max Payne 3, I
yeah,
think
that's pretty awesome.
that
You,
is a really good system. There are three modes of sights, which is like aiming. The traditional soft lock, which is the traditional GTA aim. Then the free aim and hard lock, like you had in Max Payne 3.
yeah,
Because the shooting, I don't know if you've seen the comparison video where they did a side-by-side comparison with Max Payne 3 and GTA 5 for the shooting.
yeah. Uh,
GTA 5 looked a bit more fluent, and I mean Max Payne 3 shooting was near perfect,
yeah, I
really.
mean that
It was
system just
just great.
works really well. That just needed the odd tweak here
It
and
it
there,
it
and
felt
yeah.
realistic. It was responsive. It worked very well. I
And
mean, I've
basically,
played
when you
Max Payne
shoot
3.
somebody, they die. It's something, coming back to the Call of Duty thing, is something that Call of Duty still hasn't worked
Yeah,
out. That when you
because
shoot somebody, they
yeah,
should die. They
yeah, but the
shouldn't get
thing
up
is,
and run
like in
around.
uh, in Max Payne 3, a headshot is just you're dead.
Yeah,
That's what I like. Just you get shot in the head, you're done. Multiplayer or single player, you're done.
yeah.
Gun and gun, you're done. And then the customization of cars will be great. Not like in GTA San Andreas where you could only do a few things, although in GTA San Andreas the customization was pretty big. You can customize the paintings, I mean, wheels, influence, grill spoilers, improve the suspension to improve your engine and the brakes of your vehicle,
Yeah, definitely
which is
looking
pretty
forward to
cool.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, you could have. I was saying to a friend of mine. So what wouldn't it be cool that you could customize your vehicle to being like this really strong vehicle with a lot of acceleration for getting away from the cops, or like a vehicle which you will use on the highway to go really fast, or a vehicle to customize a vehicle in such a way which you could use it like for drifting.
Yeah, which is gonna well, it comes back to the planning of jobs and stuff within the single player thing, isn't it? It's
Yes.
a case of where you can truly customize the cars that you have to whatever specific purpose you need, and I think that's pretty cool. But also that they've allowed you to go above and beyond that, which is, should you not need a car for a specific job, you can still go in there and have fun spending hours customizing it to however you want, and I think that's pretty good that they've managed to put both elements of that in there.
Yeah. But just one last thing. What kind of DLC do you expect to be coming in GTA 5? As it's probably going to be totally different than in GTA 4, because there won't be like this big expansion pack like you had in GTA 4, because it just said, well, no, we're not gonna do that. There's just way too much.
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's hard to kind of make predictions because there's still a lot we don't really know about the story elements, like will characters die at the end of the story and so on. And I think it depends on the ending of the combined stories together as to whether or not, how they proceed with DLC. And for me personally, I think, if the characters don't die, and they can finish the story quite nicely, I wouldn't be against them bringing out DLCs for extra jobs that you can do and stuff like that. I think that would be cool. It would expand upon it. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think certainly more customizable stuff in there is good. I don't know if this has been touched upon, but can you actually customize apartments and stuff?
There has not been any details about that.
Because see,
No.
if you could do that kind of thing, where when you acquire an apartment and stuff as you move up the ranks, if you could customize the stuff in there, and you could buy things for that, that would be epic in my in my book. I'd be like, oh cool, new GTA 5 DLC. I can buy a new lamp for my apartment. That's awesome.
I think that's gonna be a bit too ridiculous, but I mean, you gotta keep in mind, Rockstar DLC has always been great. I mean, if you look at Red Dead Redemption and Max Payne 3, you pay in my country you pay 10 euros, and look what you're getting, man. It's great how Rockstar always gives you a great value for your money.
And dare I say it as well? What else would I like to see from GTA 5 DLC? A zombie multiplayer mode. I know you
Oh,
hate
get out of here!
it, but I just think it would be so fun to do it.
Shut up.
If you're listening, Rockstar, make it happen.
Everyone is like, zombie DLC,
Yeah, but
zombie
yeah,
DLC.
but
In Red Dead
think.
Redemption, it worked, but I mean, come on, go away with your zombies, man. Go play Black Ops 2 or something if you want zombies. I mean, zombies in GTA 5. If I want to see a zombie, I'll look in the mirror.
After an all-nighter, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know. I
just,
just think it'd be a nice variation to have. It'd be interesting because it would be the first time I think they'd put that sort of thing in a GTA game, and I think to sort of not alienate people too much. I think it'd be kind of nice to have like a multiplayer mode or a survival type mode as well, where the city is your playground to do that. And I think when we sort of look at some of the things that are coming in multiplayer mode, like the jets and stuff, I think that'd be quite cool for that sort of thing, and it'd certainly stand head above a lot of the other open world competitors that have had zombie modes put in there. So, you know. It may sound ridiculous to want that, but actually I imagine that that there is solid logic there to do it, and I'd be interested to see that. I know you wouldn't though.
No, because I don't think it fits. But
Yeah, whatever.
yeah. But what are you expecting tomorrow from the GTA Online reveal?
I'm expecting the internet to break. It's the honest
Yeah,
answer.
that too. Twitter is going down, and
Yeah.
the Rockstar website will go down, etc., etc. But
Well, I don't
you
know because
know,
I've spoken to you about this, and I've said before because I know you keep asking me this question. It's like, what would you expect from this? What would you expect from that? And I come up with certain ideas of it, but me well more than most people, and I'm sort of, as much as I'm excited for GTA and I really want to get my hands on that game, and I've got the collector's edition pre-ordered and all that sort of jazz. I'm still keeping my expectations low for it because then I know I'm not going to be hugely disappointed. So anything they throw at me in a multiplayer reveal trailer tomorrow, I'm more than happily just take it on board and get happy about it. But it'll all be a surprise to me, and I'm happy with it being that way.
yeah, I get where you're coming from. You gotta be cautious these days, because
So easy
if
to
you
have
look,
things leaked. It's
yeah, it's so easy to like just get lied to, and then once again looking at Call of Duty fake promises and all that. It's
but won't somebody
nah.
think of the fish? Um,
The fish that swim away when you come close to them. It's just it's
no,
no.
no, no,
So
no, no, no.
no, 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 no. I mean, GTA 5 is a dog, and it's much more badass than Riley. I mean, why would you call, I mean, a dog in the special forces Riley? I mean,
It's an American thing, I'm
I'm a
guessing.
homosexual.
I'd take that back. It's not an American thing. I don't want to dub all Americans homosexual. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Yes, there's been a new Dead Island announced. Dead Island Epidemic. It's a free-to-play game, which is a massive online battle area game in the Dead Island universe. My take on free-to-play games is not very positive. As in microtransaction, the game doesn't get really supported that well. It mostly looks pretty crap and is not very well done. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
your
I
case.
wouldn't expect a lot from it. I've only played Dead Island 1
I
and I
think you're
haven't played
pandering
that
to a
type, but
stereotype there because most of the free-to-play games that I certainly get involved in, especially when they're online based, you'll be surprised at how much support actually is offered with those games, and the contents there. I think when it comes to things like microtransactions, I don't want to go on a long-winded spiel about it, but I think as long as they fit the game. Um, and the business model, and it's not a case of you're essentially nickeling, diming everybody because you can, and the
yeah,
whole pay to win thing annoys the crap out of me. So as long as microtransactions are fine in free to plays as long as they're done correctly. I think with this Dead Island game, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not it's a case of Deep Silver and Techland experimenting with larger online arenas for a potential sequel in the Dead Island series on console. Because I'll be honest with you, I haven't had chance to play Riptide yet, but the feeling I got certainly from the way they implemented co-op into the original Dead Island, and the set pieces and the massive open world area, I wouldn't be surprised if they start pushing towards a Dead Island MMO, which I think would actually be really good considering the popularity of certain PC projects that are open world. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it really could be the start of something quite good for the Dead Island series overall.
Right. I think it's good too. I mean, it's Dead Island is a good game, but I'm just skeptical about the free-to-play stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be a case of we'll sort of have to give it a shot when it comes out, see how it plays and stuff, and see if it's any good. I know we certainly on Traves on PSN, we picked up on this story during the week, and one of the things to come out of it was that there is actually potentially a Dead Island 3 in the works. So I'd certainly be excited to see a Dead Island on a next gen console, because the Dead Island games have such a lot of potential. I think we all know that the graphics wise they're not the greatest games in the world, but the gameplay's there, the story's there. The core of it's there. It just needs better execution. And if they can use free to play games as a way to experiment and stuff going forward for a Dead Island 3 sequel on next gen consoles, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So moving on from Dead Island, because we seem to
Yeah.
be talking a lot about zombies. let's not talk more about zombies. Let's talk about something different.
Yeah, let's talk about stealth killing zombies in Dishonored. How
Yes.
about some Dishonored DLC for zombies? No, just kidding. There's a Dishonored Game of the Year collection on the way. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I myself really haven't really played Dishonored. I've tried it a bit, but
Yeah.
I really didn't give it a lot of chance. So I might be getting the Game of the Year edition, but
I'm in the same boat, to be honest with you, because I've got. I think it's a great little package for those that haven't picked it up. I mean, to be honest with you, you can pick up Dishonored pretty cheap now, and you could probably buy all the DLC before the Game of the Year collection comes out, and you'll probably get it all for the same price as the Game of the Year collection anyway. But having said that, I mean, the concept of Dishonored and the whole steampunk thing works, and it is a really good game. I've just found myself distracted by so much other stuff, and I think it's a shame, really, because Dishonored sort of launched in a rather crowded Christmas window, and it kind of got glossed over a bit, and with some of those games taking a long time to complete and requiring a lot of your time, it it wasn't ideal to sort of launch it at that point. So, but yeah, no, Dishonored is a great game. I do recommend people do check it out and get stuck in. Myself, I've just sort of played it in drits and drabs, but I think like any Game of the Year edition, if you haven't already bought it, I think it's a great entry point into the franchise's series.
yeah. So yeah, Dishonored. I mean, it's a game that I still have to give a chance at some point, but since the game is coming with a Game of the Year release, I might get that instead of waiting. It will be released in mid-August, so that should be pretty soon for you fun fellas over there. So yeah, that's it for Dishonored. It's not a really big story, but
Useful one
as
nevertheless. Consumer advice.
consumer advice by Dante Zero and GTA Man on the Rambling Gamer podcast.
We should have like
Yeah,
some sort of intermission tune for that, like a little jingle.
yeah. Consumer advice with Dante Zero.
Be awesome.
Yeah, but a little something something that we do also on the Rambling Gamer podcast is we discuss the store update, which may or may not be every week, as I kind of am busy, so is Dante, and that it may not be every week because we never know how stuff's gonna go. I might have to work in the evening like I had today, but now I don't, so we had to do the podcast before, but things ran a little longer, and Dante was a little bit hungry, so we had to
Yeah,
send.
I told GTA man to go make me a sandwich. So so it took a bit longer getting prepped for today, and obviously it's our first show. But what GTA man sort of hinting at here is that ideally what we want to do going forward is we want to discuss the PlayStation Store updates, hence the scheduling of the show for Wednesdays. Now that'll be evenings or afternoons. It'll depend, but at least it gives us a chance to at least get some of the information from PlayStation regarding what's being updated on the store, and then we can obviously pass on to you what we think's good and what we think's bad, etc., etc. We don't have
Yeah.
to worry too much about the US one because that always comes out on a Tuesday. It's just the European one, where annoyingly for some reason they decide to always post it at 3 p.m. on the dot.
Yeah, they used to do it a lot, like earlier, and I liked it a lot because they did it like at 11 a.m. or
Yeah,
something. But
11,
nowadays they
12
just,
o'clock, which was useful because then if you were like, you know me, I'm usually in my local town 3 days a week. And so it meant that if
yeah,
I was in town, I could go into the local game store, do my trade-ins, or pick up some PSN credit for later on during the day when I got home in the afternoon. And it's like now
yeah.
I don't find out till 3 o'clock. So if I actually wanted to go to a game store and actually get PSN credit, it's a very awkward thing to do.
Yeah, because say for example, you can pre-order Killzone Mercenary now, and say you want to, you're not having the 30 quid it's costing to pre-order it. You could just go to a game store or whatever, or wherever you get your PSN credit, and then you can just pre-order it. But now you have to go out and look, ugh. But you can use PayPal as well, which what I do because I just stopped bothering with PSN credit because now I can just we over here in Holland we got this ideal thing which you can also use now, so it just goes directly off your bank
Uh,
account,
uh,
so no more hassling with PayPal
I
or
was gonna
whatever,
say,
which is
do you
great.
want to know a cool story, brah? You can
Yeah, dog,
you can
tell him, homeboy.
you can actually, if you live in Europe and you're in the UK, you can actually top up by text message via the PC web store. So all you do is put in your mobile number. It sends you a text saying, "Do you want to top up X amount of pounds?" You send one back saying yes. Hey presto, you got PSN credit, and it just adds it to your bill, or you pay, or takes it off your pay-as-you-go credit. I've tested this system; it works. So, do bear that in mind. That is a payment option. But
Yeah, it's a great
should
feature.
we get into some of the picks and some of the more interesting
Yeah,
stuff over the store? Let's start with the US one. Diablo 3 is up for pre-order, which I think is kind of interesting. It's due in a couple of weeks' time, release date. I think, given Diablo 3's successful history on PC, and the amount of time it's taken to actually get to confirm that the Diablo 3 was coming to console, I think that now that we're finally seeing it on the store for pre-order, just means that it's final and it's coming. And personally speaking, I can't wait. I know there's quite a few PC buffs out there that will enjoy the news that, especially if you're in the US, that you can pre-order that now as well. What
hmm
else? The Americans seem to have quite a lot of pre-orders up, which is interesting in comparison to the EU store, and we'll go through that in a minute. But they've also got Final Fantasy 14 Collector's Edition and the Standard Edition. I'm quite surprised at the price for the Standard Edition. It's only $40. Um, that's like what, about 30 quid in the UK, and the standard version here retails for 42.99.
it's called getting screwed.
Yeah. So
We're used to that over here in
I
Europe.
was going to say, if you live in the EU and you want to play Final Fantasy 14, buy it from the US store because you can actually change the regional servers on the game anyway. So you can pick which servers your character's running on the game. So those are probably the two highlights I would pick out in terms of pre-orders. In terms of the games that have actually been released on PSN and for PS3, the highlights with that are obviously Payday, the Heist 2. For those that don't know, it's a sequel to the successful original Payday, the Heist game. You and I have played that before, and we found that quite fun.
It
Um,
was really fun, but you
it
know how that goes with us playing a game together. Same for that nation. Yeah, man, we should definitely do that together. And then out of nowhere, we just stop because you start playing another
oh,
game,
don't
and
blame it
I
all on
think
me.
there. Well, no, of course I'm the same. But thing, there's one game where we managed to stay focused on it, and it was GTA 4. But
We got there, but no, I think we, from our both our experiences with the original Payday, the Heist, we recognised it was a good game, but there was a lot of flaws in it. Um, in certain areas. I mean, there were things that we did on the original game that we were sort of scratching our head thinking, how the hell can you do that? I think there was one way you have to like disable every security camera, and there was like 8 of them in one level, and you had to do it in the space of like 2 seconds without firing a bullet, and we're like, huh? So, but thankfully, Payday 2 has improved on a lot of those sort of rather complex ways of doing a job. There's a lot more features, customizable stuff added into it as well, and they really have done a number on this game. So, I'd certainly recommend checking that out. That's currently for retail at $40. And the other interesting PSN game for those that are retro gamers is probably DuckTales Remastered. For those who don't know, DuckTales was a Disney TV show. DuckTales, woo-hoo. That's going to be stuck in your head now all day, I promise you. But but yeah, it's basically a remastering of the NES game. I wouldn't really trust any reviews that are out there because it's ranged from getting the base flatline score right through to like 9s out of 10s and stuff. I do question the price at $14.99 on the US store, and it's $11.99 on the UK store. I do question the price for a HD remake of a small game. That does baffle me a little bit as to why it's that much. But still, by all means, do go check it out if you're willing to drop the money on it. And just trying to look through what else that's worth
Yeah,
knowing.
the Saints Row 4 demo has been released for the US
Yeah, the inauguration
PSN
station.
store.
Yeah.
It's been on the UA and the European store since last week. But what's special about it is like you can just touch a bit on the customization, and then once you're done customizing your character, it actually translates to the retail version if you buy the game, which is pretty nice. But I've played around with it a bit, but so, as much as I don't agree with the direction that Saints Row is going, because I really liked Saints Row 2 and Saints Row the Third was just a big disappointment for me. Let's just not touch on that too much because then we'll have a 2 hour podcast instead of a 1 hour podcast. That it gave me a smile on my face, man. You had man voice 1 2 3 and female voice 1 2 3, and then you had a Nolan North voice. I'm like, it's just uh, the it's
I
just
don't know because in
it's
Saint
just typical Saints Row. It's goofy and at the same time it gives you a smile on your face. And I have to admit, I am kind of looking forward to it, but it might end up being a big disappointment. But
but do go check
the
it
superpowers,
out.
I am going to play it. I'm
N-
going to review it as well.
no, I was going
So
to say do
be
check
sure
out the
to.
inauguration station as well because I think
Yeah.
with that you can import those characters into Saints Row 4 when it actually releases, so you can kind of get a head start with the customization as well. They did that with Saints Row 3 as well, and that
Yeah.
that was pretty
Yeah.
good at the time. So do check that out definitely.
I mean, it's a good indication of how big the customization is in Saints Row 4. I mean, Saints Row 4 is, I think, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, the only game that goes so in depth with the customization of a character. Sure, when I was, playing it, I saw a lot of stuff that was reused from Saints Row the Third, which is kind of a shame.
You
But
don't.
you know,
I can tell you don't play a lot of RPGs.
oh yeah, okay. I mean, I don't play an RPG a lot indeed, but that's why I
Yeah.
said, correct me if I'm wrong.
But I think you're right though. There'll be enough customization to appease everyone. I think really, in regards to that, they're usually pretty good with that sort of thing. So, and certainly with Deep Silver pushing the developers' volition forward. Because I remember that was one of the other things I was going to touch on, perhaps in the story. You think, I was reading an article earlier this week where it's like Volition were really unhappy with the way that THQ ran Saints Row 3 because they had like porn
Yeah,
stars promoting the series, and it was like the developers wanted nothing to do with that. And yet, the developers are working really hard on the game, and just because like Tara Patrick
right.
was promoting a game.
You
It's
don't
like,
want your game to be promoted by porn stars, yet you throw a giant purple dildo in your game.
well, I know, right? So, but what they were
It's
saying,
kind of
but what they
pathetic,
were
but
saying is they put all the hard work in, and obviously they got all the credits on the game. But then you've got someone doing promotional stuff, saying, "Yeah, I love to play Saints Row 3," even though they've probably never touched it. And just because they were a porn star, they got executive credits on the end of the game. It's like they hadn't even worked on the game, and they were getting coverage for it. So it's good to see
yeah, it's
that
probably
that
all on big commercial,
it's
but
good to see that they're pushing on from that anyway. But other things that may be worth checking out on the PS Store.
yeah, there's in the European store, which I'm looking at right now, is the Rayman Legends demo.
Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't come to the US.
Well, that's uh, it's kind of interesting how sometimes US gets stuff early. I look at you, Counter Strike Go and GTA 3 PS2 Classic, which I both bought off the US store because I wanted to play them. And the European store they're getting stuff first. I think they should really draw the line
Yeah,
on that, but
they need to cut that
that's
out with PS3. Sorry, PS4 going forward with that. But that's a topic for the pod station now.
yes, I was gonna say. So next time on the pod station, you might hear that. So be sure to check that out. Um, the very popular game Fruit Ninja, where people spend millions on a damn game that just swipe your finger with to cut fruit. Well, you can actually do that in real life and actually enjoy the
I've
fruit.
got.
Is now available on the PS Vita in the European store.
It's also available on the US store as well. I'm kind of
Okay.
intrigued to get it and find out what all the fuss is about. But I saw that story with the whole, you know, my son ran out 45 grand playing this on the iPad, and Apple won't give us a refund. And I'm kind of like, maybe I shouldn't get this game. But also, I tell you what slightly annoys me with Fruit Ninja being released on the store. I think it's cheaper on XBLA, and it's also cheaper on mobile phones. And I can't imagine the Vita version for either region is going to be that much different from the original game. So why is it? Why does it seem like we're paying a little bit over the odds to get it on the Vita? I think in the US it's like $8, which is a lot for
Yeah.
something that quite often is advertised as free, and you buy with microtrans. I just don't get it. But if you've got £4 kicking about on your PSN account, it might be worth checking it out. The one I'm intrigued about is it's a game called Open Me for the Vita. It's a weird concept, but basically you get boxes.
Is that like Virtual Simulator 2013, but then for the Vita with a new name?
No. With this one, basically, it's an AR app for your Vita.
You could make so much jokes about that title.
So
I mean, combine it with Fruit Ninja. Open me, Fruit Ninja.
ew. I won't say anything about bananas, but
Dante, we're trying to get this on
yeah,
iTunes.
we've got to remember to stay family friendly. But yeah,
I think we passed that point at the point we started
yeah.
this thing.
But
Goodbye, iTunes. Goodbye.
OpenMe sounds really interesting. It's an AR app for the Vita. You basically open boxes. It gives you like booby traps to solve before you can actually open up the box and see what's in it. And you'll get these on
So it's
daily.
basically Russian roulette. You open something, but you don't know if you're gonna die
Yeah,
or not.
pretty much. Just done in a more interesting, fun way.
I'm gonna buy that game.
Just done in a more interesting, fun way. I think for the US store as well.
And that less deadly too.
I just want to highlight some other things from the US store quickly before we shift
Okay.
on. The PS store in the US got a new app today, which was the music visualizer. It's essentially just a version of Pixel Junk 4AM's music visualizer that you can buy on its own. It's $2.99. It's definitely worth checking out if you don't like the original visualizer that the PS3 offers when you play your music through you. through it. In terms of PlayStation Plus for US users, you'll have BitTrip Presents Runner 2 Future Legend of Rhythm Alien, if I can put my teeth in, which will be making its way to the Instant Game Collection. But there's also quite a few sales on as well, so there's some plus discounts, especially for American Vita games. Some of the highlights on that, you can pick up Silent Hill Book of Memories for about $7.50. Just to give you a full idea, that's usually around about $25 normally. You can pick up Soul Sacrifice for $17.50, usually around $40. So yeah, do check out if you've got a Vita owner. If you're a Vita owner in the US, do check that out. There's plenty of Japanese games, based Vita games that are on sale, and there's plenty of DLC sale for items for Tomb Raider. Probably the biggest thing to check out in sale is BioShock Infinite. Has actually had its price reduced from $60 to $40. So if you haven't played BioShock Infinite yet, go check that out. Um, in terms of the EU sales, there's way too many to even pick out a highlight. So
Yeah, let's not go too much into details. Let's just send them over to
yeah, I was gonna say
TrophiesonPSN.com and they can see the
I'll
full
have
list.
the
Just, I think it's a good idea to like real quick a few highlights of the PS3 DLC in at least the European store. Dishonored has a new DLC and Injustice has a new DLC. That Little Big Planet has some a special competition at the moment, a tearaway competition pack. It's free, and if you do certain stuff, then you know you can win great prizes, great prizes, win. You know, so, and of course, OpenMe has DLC because it's just been released, and you have to buy 2 super packs for $5. Good idea.
they're obviously following
It's
the
ridiculous, man.
previous EA model, which is let's announce a game and then about a month before, 2 months before it's released, let's announce DLC that will come out on day one. Uh, dear oh
Yeah.
dear, but you know, still, I suppose it's a good thing really, because you know, as much as it can seem slightly annoying, at least it means that if you get bored with your product on day one, you can extend the experience by buying DLC. So
Yeah, more buying the more boring stuff.
but if you
Yes.
do want to find out what's being added to the summer festival sale on PSN, which has got about another 2 weeks to run, as GTA Owen said, do check out a post. There'll be one going up this afternoon on TrophiesonPSN.com. It'll be on the front page with a nice big banner on it. So do check it out. So that's pretty much it for the store roundup stuff. I think we've pretty much covered everything that's going to warrant your time and money. I think it's fair to
Yes.
say, um, without going too in depth into it. So let's have a look at the week ahead, to finish the
Yeah.
show off.
Well, obviously, when we're recording this, the Call of Duty Ghost review is still to be there. Then tomorrow, there's still no time for this, so I will do a video on it when we have a time for it. But Rockstar still has to announce the time. Well, when the GTA Online stuff will be revealed, but tomorrow, probably around 5 or 4 p.m. UK time, the review will be there, but this is just my guess because the previous videos has been like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much
So
it, I think,
Call
because
of Duty
there's,
Ghosts revealed tonight. GTA multiplayer tomorrow. Um, Jets. That's what I'm looking forward to. Jets. So there's that. I'm just trying to think of any other stories. We've got Gamescom coming up next week as well, haven't we?
yeah, Gamescom. There are a lot of teasers at the moment, like Plants vs Zombies and the Wolf Among Us from Telltale
I'm
Games.
so looking forward to
There's so
that.
Telltale Games are a very talented studio, I think. I enjoyed their the episodic games. I have yet to play The Walking Dead, but
Oh, where have you been
uh,
living?
yeah, I've been living in the dilemma of having to earn 107 trophies before the release of GTA 5 because I want GTA 5's first trophy to be my 5,000th trophy, as I that probably means that I'm not able to play any games with trophies until Saints Row 4 and all that because I don't want to mess
Sucks
stuff
for
up.
you.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but I bought the game when it was on sale,
Yeah.
so it's downloaded and ready to play. So once I pass the 5,000 trophies, I'll still be playing GTA 5 for a whole year. But once I do find time, I'll be sure to check it out.
Definitely, but I was going to say, speaking of Gamescom coming up, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording today. Actually, a lot of information that's been sort of used to build up Gamescom is that Gamescom is going to be all about the PS4, and we're going to have brand new PS4 games at Gamescom to show off, and we'll show gameplay, and the PS4 will be playable at Gamescom, blah blah blah. And
And some new PS Vita games too, where you got an exclusive
I was
scoop
going to
on.
say that
Yes, the first update of the Rambling Gamer podcast, and we already have an exclusive
so
for you.
yeah, so Sony have obviously announced that they are actually going to be bringing new Vita games to the Gamescom press conference as well, and some of those will be things we already know, others will be brand new side of things. But for Vita owners, especially in the EU regions, as well as I do that the Vita is lacking in apps. There is very few applications in comparison to, say, Japan or America, where they have apps like Netflix, Nico, Toro Friend Network, and everything. So I hit them up on Twitter this week, and I sort of, I saw them tweeting about the PS Vita stuff, and I said, it's great, but I kind of want to see more apps. And they said, well, what apps do you want to see? And I said, well, we want the basic apps that we should have had 6 months ago, but we'd love to see an e-reader, a comic book reader, and just all-round new apps. Comes the European region, in which they then responded, and this was from Sony's official Twitter account. We can't confirm any of those that you've mentioned right now. However, we will have some announcements regarding applications next week. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So there you go. So expect next week, if you're a Vita owner, it's going to be exciting times, because not only are we going to have new games, obviously the PS4 stuff, and no doubt more will be made of the functionality between PS Vita and PS4, but we'll also have new apps as well. So do watch out for that. And there's your little scoop for you. Just goes to show the power of Twitter.
Well, I think Gamescom is probably going to be interesting,
Oh God,
but
tell me about it. I'm dreading the week. It's going to be a busy
it's
week on TrophiesonPSN.com, I tell you.
yeah, and also on my website, which will also be in the link below. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
do you want to give out your web URL over here?
No, because it's in Dutch and probably people won't
Yeah.
understand it, so it's standard in my description when I
What
upload a
is
video.
the English translation of it?
Their own world. That's the direct translation
Right,
from it.
okay. I didn't know that. I was just
You know how
curious. That's
it
all.
sounds. It's okay. Yeah, but the thing is, it's pretty. The website is. It basically was a web store
Yeah.
first, and someone claimed that website for that album of that web store. But then, the web store was never going up, and it was just sitting there. And the guy said, "Hey," to the owner of the website, said, "Hey, I got a web. I heard you want to do a website, and I still have this URL, and here you go." And that's how the journey started. I'm almost posting for a full year on that website. It's crazy how fast the time
Yeah.
went. But I'm not here to plug my website, which I already always do in my videos when it's standard in the
Yeah, but
description.
it's still worth telling
Yeah,
people
and
about that. And as I say.
well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's a great website for movies, trailers, everything. It's a lot of stuff. Geekfidi, something you really enjoy.
Yeah. So
Uh,
you've
you
got
know,
your website, we've got TrophiesonPSN.com, and I think KD would kill me if I probably didn't mention this. But we do have a website called
GamingUnravel.com.
GamingUnravel.com that's just launched. We may have some guests come on from there from time to time. We'll see how it goes, because they are fairly new. They're setting up. If you have an interest in creating YouTube videos, want to know how to make money out of YouTube, want graphics, want to know how to create graphics, all the technical stuff behind things like live streaming, podcasting, YouTube, etc., that is your place to go. whichever website you may want to create content for. Gaming Unraveled is the ultimate going to be the ultimate resource for using that. So do go check it out. I already know that they're getting fantastic amounts of traffic at the moment. They've already broken some exclusive stories, including an interview with one of the Halo mod developers. So yeah, go check them out when you get a chance.
Right. Yeah, that is, I think, is it for the shameless plugging of all
Yeah,
the kinds of
we've done the
websites.
plugging now. Yeah.
I mean, some people who also listen to like the GTA 5 podcast I do with Iru399 probably know me very well for plugging stuff. I won't go plug the stuff I plug over there because I don't know if it's
Dude,
really
we're
like.
rambling gamers. We can plug whatever we want.
Yeah, but let's not do that because it's
Let's just not
something that
plug
he's
each other.
supposed to be plugging, and I'm
Literally.
well,
Let's just not go there.
well, I'm plugging stuff over there that's like
Yeah,
has to do with the discount
yeah.
code and all that, which is his promotion, but I'm always plugging in on the podcast of him, so it's
So,
always pretty fun.
plugging aside, we should probably
Yes.
round this up just by saying
Yes.
that we shall be back next week. Do watch out for us on iTunes. We'll obviously promote the podcast throughout the various different mediums like our Facebook, etc., and your YouTube channel, our YouTube channel. So we should also say, just to end this off, follow us on Twitter at GTA Man, at TrophiesonPSN. Okay, and like our
Yes.
Facebook pages. I think your Facebook page is the Liberty Lunatic.
Yeah, I never use it. Don't bother.
Go hit him up on Facebook. If you
I'm
want to annoy him, go hit him
I'm.
up on Facebook. You'll annoy the crap out of him. But
Thank
nevertheless,
you.
come and click on our like book. Our Facebook community is growing very rapidly. And of course, we have things like Google Plus, which are all detailed on the website as well. So do check those out. There's a lot of conversations
Yes.
going on there. And I think that's pretty much it for this week. Unless there's anything you want to add.
Well, check out TrophiesonPSN.com, GamingsOnRevel.com, all that good stuff. Links will be in the description. I hope you enjoyed this first installment of the Rambling Gamer. And, hopefully maybe next week we have a different guest, or maybe we have Dante back because I love him so
He
much.
may have me and a guest. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. Everything is just, it's the first episode. Next week will hopefully be a second episode. We'll
And
see how it goes. If you have any questions or feedback or whatever, be sure to let us know down in the comments. Send us a PM, hit up Dante0 on TrophiesonPSN.com, or me even. I mean, I'm not that active on there because, I got my own stuff to worry about, and when there's nothing to talk about when GTA wise, I just come on there and just be like, Saints Row is stupid and GTA is best, and then a lot of members get annoyed with it, and there's a whole big discussion. Always great fun. Anyway, I'm rambling on the Rambling Gamer podcast, which is kind of
the point, but yeah.
the point. But I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we're just gonna put you out of your misery, and I will say goodbye to you. Say goodbye, Dante.
Goodbye,
Come on,
Dante.
say it, buddy.
You knew that was
Oh,
coming.
this has been the Rambling Gamer podcast. Goodbye.